Ambassador, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you again. It's my pleasure to be here.
I was just watching our previous interview made at the beginning of your presidency with EU. I think that you were a bigger optimist than me in the start of this year. What do you think now after 6 months? What is going on with the EU perspective?
You may be right. I was very optimistic at the beginning of our presidency. Now time for realism came, and we can only see what we could do and what we couldn't do during this. One thing is that the presidency is a very short period of time. It's just 181 days. In politics, in the European Union, with these huge bureaucratic machines and procedures, you cannot do much during one single 6 months of presidency. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that there are issues that we put in the center of our attention for this presidency, and we were able to deliver. And there are things that we put in the center of our attention and we were not able to deliver on them. And that's only normal. You can't do anything. I can give you an example. Probably the thing that we can be most proud of is the new financial instrument called SAFE that refers to the security of the European Union, and this was our priority number one. To have such an instrument accepted in such a short time was a great achievement, not only of the Polish presidency, but of the EU as a whole. It gives a huge amount of money, up to 150 billion euro, for member states to invest in their defense industries if they want to invest in the defense industry. It is part of the new situation in which Europe started taking our defenses in our own hands, which results from the new geopolitical situation. Another example is the East Shield, which Poland was successful to convince the European Union that the security of Europe mostly depends on the security of our eastern border. And our idea of the East Shield, which now became part of the position of the European Union, and it is regarded as a most important instrument in the whole issue of security, and will be also financed or co-financed by the European Union. These are examples of things that could happen even though the time was so short.
Good news, but Macedonia was the bad news.
Yes, in the sense of the process of the enlargement. And the process of the enlargement refers not only to Macedonia. Of course, again, in our priorities, we declared that we consider EU enlargement as something that can help fulfill our security goals. And that's obvious because the importance, geopolitical and strategic importance of Western Balkans is obvious. So there were two directions in which we wanted to go: Western Balkans and the East, Ukraine and Moldova. Now, no measurable progress on this result from completely different circumstances. The EU enlargement is one of these issues which require unanimity of all members of the EU. And the lack of this unity was responsible for no progress in case of Ukraine. In case of North Macedonia, we declared a number of times as the presidency our readiness to organize the next intergovernmental conference and start the negotiating process. But unfortunately, as we know, there are certain preconditions which have to be met, and only then we can organize that intergovernmental conference. And because these conditions, these preconditions were not met, we couldn't do much on that. So in fact, with case of North Macedonia or Ukraine, the results are not as we would like them to be.
Mm-hmm. And Macedonian government is saying that this is not the real reason for Macedonian problem, these constitutional changes, and they have a lot of reasons to speak like this after these few decisions and let's say wrong statements that have been in the public last days. The last information is that the biggest parliamentary groups in the European Parliament decided to remove Macedonian language and identity from the report that is going to be adopted in Tuesday next week. What do you think about this decision? Can someone decide, is it going to be Macedonian language or Macedonian identity? Where is it going to be, or what is going to be in the future?
No, no one can decide on Macedonian national identity or Macedonian language. I cannot recall any situation from the past of any other countries aspiring to become the member of the European Union where the question of national identity would be raised at all. So this is not good to start with. I do not know the decision you are talking about. I'm waiting with hopes for the debate on Tuesday. I want to see what will be said, what the Commissioner will say during her speech, and what will the final decision be, because I would simply love the report of the rapporteur White be accepted and create better circumstances to take the process forward. Mm-hmm. After my 7 months in Macedonia, I'm even a bigger fan of Macedonia becoming the member of the EU than I had been before. So I would really like to do whatever we can to push this forward, this process forward, especially that we know and we all remember that it's been 20 years since you became the candidate for the European Union. So let's hope that the questions of identity will not become part of the accession debate.
Mm-hmm. Ambassador, but we also had this statement from the Commissioner Cost that everybody is speaking about, given of the meeting of the leaders, Western Balkan and EU in Skopje. She connected Macedonian identity with Tavče, Gravče and Pinjur, as you know. How do you comment on this kind of statement?
No, I didn't. I don't think she meant anything bad or wrong here. She simply wanted to say that European Union is not a body that would be a threat to anybody's identity. European Union from the very beginning acts, and I hope it will stay like that forever, according to the original motto of the European Union, that was united in diversity, which means that we all come freely to this construction, political construction, giving to Brussels only certain powers that we want to give to Brussels. Our identity, our culture, our language, our history, this stays with us, and nobody wants to take it from us. And I believe this is the view that is shared also from the Commissioner Cost, even though she didn't mention all the things that you would like to hear when describing the Macedonian identity.
Can you agree with the Prime Minister Mickoski that all of these have proven his opinion that this is not about the Bulgarian minority in Macedonia in the constitution, but it is all about the Macedonian language and identity?
I hope not. I mean, I agree with Prime Minister Mickoski, and I hope nobody would question the existence of Macedonian language or identity that we can take for granted, and we all take this for granted. This is not the point of the debate.
Mm-hmm. Ambassador, just for the end, because you have experience in this. I need to ask you, do you think that there is any influence, let's say Russian influence, in all of this process?
You mean the integration process?
Of Macedonia.
That's obvious for me, that the worst things are within the European Union, the better for the Putin's empire. So definitely it is in the Russian interest to destabilize the situation within the European Union. That's why also we should show the unity, and we should show that we are strong against defending the European Union as a concept, as a political and economic concept, and that no one, including Mr. Putin, will be able to spoil this idea. With the Russian aggression against Ukraine, the process of enlargement also is seen now in a different way. Enlarging the European Union is not only a technocratic process now, it is a geopolitical and strategic necessity for us. So regardless of other economic reasons, and of course I've said that many times, that for a country like North Macedonia, raising the level of life is one of the issues of entering the European Union. But there is now a different issue, the issue of safety simply, which is the issue for this country, for the whole of Europe. The process of enlargement is part of the defense strategy for the whole of European Union. That's why we should work on it and build a stronger European Union. And a stronger European Union is the one which includes the Western Balkans.
So you are still optimist for Macedonian EU future?
Everybody should be an optimist. I can see the problem. I am sad, as I mentioned, that after 6 months of the Polish presidency, we were not able to move it forward, but I believe that there will come a moment, and I hope it will be sooner than later, when somebody will come with yet another idea how to solve the problem and how to move from the dead point that we are at the moment in.
Ambassador, thank you very much for this interview.
Pleasure.